First of all, I would like to welcome everyone. This video is a production of me, Brian Matheson, and the Washington School Counselors Association. This video is intended for Washington school counselors who are thinking about applying for recognized ASCA model program status from the American School Counselor Association. And today we'll briefly be talking about a specific part of the RAMP rubric, the ASCA Student Standards. So as you can see here on my screen, whenever I'm thinking about or working on one component of the RAMP application, I always pull up the rubric. If I'm ever in doubt about exactly what to do, I pull up the rubric. So that's the first thing I encourage you to do. Take a look at the rubric part 4 for the ASCA Student Standards. As you can see here, and as most people know, the competencies and indicators are coming from the ASCA Student Standards, and ideally they are linked to your school counseling goals. I would also add that there is probably some connection to your vision and mission, and basically you're identifying all the competencies and indicators that you are teaching or delivering to students at all grade levels. And then when you write your narrative, you'll be talking about how you selected your student competencies and how all these parts and pieces fit together as part of your overall school counseling program. Also, you notice in the rubric you'll need to address how they're reviewed and revised each year. Again, you should be looking at them again each year as part of the accountability process. So the next thing I like to do after I take a look at the rubric is I do like to take a look at some of the model programs that have already earned ASCA RAMP designation. So you can see here I'm on the ASCA National Model website, and actually I picked the wrong tab, but if you go to RAMP resources, you will see that there are examples of outstanding applications. And there's a couple of them here. They're all nice resources, but I selected one, White Knoll Middle, and I'll explain why. When you scroll down, you can see the other components of the application, and here when you get toward the bottom, you'll see the competencies and indicators. If you go ahead and click on that, actually this is not the one I had in mind. If you look at this one, this is a nice one, but you will notice that they are, here's the ASCA Student Standards Program Planning Tool, which you'll be expected to complete. You can see here, of course, they're middle school, and they are indicating the competencies that they are addressing with their students. And you'll notice that they've marked every box. They are addressing all the competencies, which is, of course, super. Although no, there's a couple there, which is super. It looks like they've hit most all of the competencies. At my high school, Battleground High School, Battleground, Washington, we're not going to hit all of them. It's just simply not realistic for our counselors, and it's not part of our vision, mission, and our goals. So an example that I liked, there's another example. Here it is. It's from Lucille Bruner Elementary, presuming I'm pronouncing that correctly. And if you take a look and click on there, as I've already brought it up, you can see here that they're addressing quite a few standards. This is an elementary, of course, so they've got K through 5. But you can see, you know, there are standards that they are addressing, even some standards they're addressing with certain grade levels and not with others. And again, I think this is pretty representative of where my high school is at, so I like it as an example. So again, this is one of the things that you'll need to do, is you'll need to address the standards, competencies, and indicators that you are addressing with your students as part of the RAMP application process. Now, one thing that is important, and this is new, on the ASCA National Model website, if you go, and this video is being produced in November of 2014, if you take a look at the RAMP application templates, you'll notice this little asterisk down here, and it says Note, for 2015 applications, either the Student Standards Planning Tool or the Mindsets and Behaviors Planning Tool may be used. For 2016 and beyond, only the Mindsets and Behaviors Planning Tool will be accepted. So, Valley Grande High School, we're aiming for October 2015, and so we do have that nice option of the either or. Depending on where you're at in your process, if you're going for 2016 and beyond, you're going to want to pay more attention to the mindsets and behaviors. I'm not absolutely positive which we'll choose. We're just glad to have an option right now. If you click on the Student Standards Planning Tool, you'll see that it looks just like those examples that we just looked at, except of course it is the blank template that you would fill out. If you look at the Mindsets and Behaviors Planning Tool, it does look different, as we expect. These are the new ASCA Mindsets and Behaviors. One thing that I really like about the new ASCA Mindsets and Behaviors is there are fewer of them. They have the potential to go much deeper with the competencies, but just generally there's fewer of them, so they're a little easier for me to get my mind around. You can see that they fit here pretty easily on one sheet. And then you can see as you read from left to right, they also are touching on our domains, the academic, career, social, and the new language of social, emotional. So Valley Grande High School, we're still working on this. We have a pretty good idea which mindsets and behaviors that we're working on. And we also, of course, are paying attention to the student standards. But I'll be honest, we have not filled out the program planning tool yet. It's something we need to work on. We're kind of in the middle of it. But we are teaching, running small groups, and so those forms will get completed as part of our process. And then from there, we'll keep that up with an annual review would be the goal. And also, I should add, our plan would be to look at those perhaps at the semester, different periods of time with our advisory council. So if you're part of our Washington cohort, and anybody's welcome, you just send me an email. You do have access to our Dropbox where we do have our files. You can see that there are some different folders with some different resources, and a couple of different schools have created folders to put their things in. Valley Grande High School, if you click on ours, you'll see that we do have a folder for core curriculum action plan. We've organized ourselves by creating electronic folders for the different aspects of our RAMP application. Excuse me. And if you click on the core curriculum action plan there, you will see a PDF of the mindsets and behaviors. You'll also see a school counseling curriculum action plan. We actually created this last year. So RAMP's taking us a couple of years. It's an ongoing process. We're aiming for October 2015, but it may take us longer. We started years ago, but this was from last year. We run a link mentoring program called Stripes. Don Pack, great counselor at Valley Grande, runs that, and so this is all about freshman transition. And with the students, we run a number of lessons for freshmen, helping them transition to our high school. And you can see here at the top, we have the goal. We're trying to reduce the number of at-risk freshmen. We have defined at-risk by a variety of factors, including attendance, grades, discipline report, standardized test scores, and we're working on reducing the number of at-risk freshmen by doing proactive lessons at the Tier 1 level. And you can see here that they're all 9th grade, because our goal is 9th grade for this particular action plan. Into the domains here, so we have the old domains, and then we've got our outcome data. We knew what we were working on, and you can see here the process and perception data is blank. We did start to work on that last year, but we were just practicing, and so those things are blank. But this year we're getting much more serious. We're collecting data for all of our lessons. It's in a big pile in my office, and we'll be filling in these reports here very soon. Also in the Dropbox are some other things as we're developing some of our lessons. They are in the Dropbox. Some of these are very much drafts. They're they're not perfect, but we're proud of the direction that we're heading. This is a lesson that has to do with immigration, but also treating others with respect and kindness. And we're practicing the new mindsets and behaviors, along with having learning objectives, an exit ticket that helps us with our perception data. So you can take a look at our lesson in there, and as we develop more lessons and get those tightened up, we'll have more in the Dropbox. And I encourage anyone else who's working with us in the WASCA ramp cohort to go ahead and add your lessons in there. And if you've got a curriculum action results report, did I get that right? the School Counseling Core curriculum action plan, if you've got one of those and draft form, put it on up there in the Dropbox. We'd love to take a look. So that ends our topic for today. We were talking again about the ASCA Student Standards as it applies to the ramp process. If you do have any questions, you're always welcome to follow up with me. My contact information is available on the Washington School Counselors Association webpage. You can also navigate to Battleground High School if you like, and you'll find my contact information. I'm Brian Matheson, and keep up the good work. I'm so proud of the Washington School Counselors that are working on recognized ASCA model program designation. So keep it up, and call or email if you have questions. Thanks very much.